3 races down, 7 to go. The A1GP World Cup of Motorsports returns for the German Grand Prix, presented by Formula Car Race 2025. Hello and welcome back to Sparkplug Motorsports. Here come the results from the Yas Island Grand Prix, where B-Dragon Sonic took victory from Revo and Sebastian Ocampo. A brilliant finish for the Nigerian driver, who's always been at the edges of victory but never been able to grasp it. That win took him to the top of the standings, and Sparksway's T15's non-finish dropped him down from the lead of the points down to 4th. In the team standings, of course, Team Nigeria now leads the way from Team Italy and Team England, with Team Philippines moving up the order. But it's always great to return to Baden-Württemberg, because of course that means we're right next to the Hockenheim Ring, the location of race 4 in the A1GP World Cup of Motorsports. And every time we come to Germany, recently it's actually been a lot cleaner. No real storylines or anything come and go from this racetrack in Formula E. However, always great to return to the Hockenheim Ring. Of course, everyone knows it was remade in 2002, effectively cutting out the section in the forest. The elevation change around here, it's not minimal, but it is very much unnoticeable because it's only a small rise up into turn 2. You've got one major DRS point going through and into the hairpin of turn number 4, and it does take quite a lot to set up a race like this. But we are now set for the A1 Grand Prix of Germany.
Up the volume to 11 on it.
And here is your starting grid for round number 4. Ocampo starts on pole from B-Dragon Sonic and Revo. Then it's 4th place last time out, Oscar Folstad starting 4th from Puff and Nicholas Palomino. Always a great qualifier. We've got a double row of Team France with Lebeau from Baltasarov, then it's Perez, Staff, Sanchez, and Hugh Cable outside of the top 10, with former points leader Sparks YT15 once again missing out on the top 10. Henland V is 13th from Jensen Olsen, and Oinkro Ezra far way off of his teammate. Then it's Matthew Hart, Francis Austin, the Red Devil, and Einet Badness Sr. Lam Fong is 20th from Oikui, and once more it's Badness Jr. at the back of the pack. Well, 3 races down, and Ocampo finally finds his way to start on pole. Can he take victory? It's the A1 Grand Prix of Germany. And we are green at the Hockenheim Ring. And it's a great start from B-Dragon Sonic off the line. Sparks trying to make up some places from his terrible qualifying position, and there goes the Team Nigeria driver to the lead coming out of turn 1. I think Falstad's going to try and make the lunge for second, and does. Revo gets a 5-second time penalty after a collision with his former teammates as they now head into turn number 4. You're not going to believe who's just gone from 4th to the lead. It's Oscar Falstad who leads heading down into turn number 4. The lunge for Revo there just about working. Puff getting a time penalty off the track for Daniel Baltasarov. Down to 7th, and Sparks getting a brilliant start as well. Think that was Jensen Olsen into the wall. Not too sure if a yellow flag was called for that. But on lap 1, Guillermo Perez with front wing damage as well. Oscar Folstad leads the pack after starting on the second row. Once again, the man who starts on the second row getting a pretty good start. as Austin gets a 5-second time penalty as well. Looking at B-Dragon Sonic. Winner, last time out, has scored a podium in all 3 races of the A1GP World Cup of Motorsport so far as we go on to lap 2 of 16. This is one of the races with a longer lap count than most. And Volstad punching in a 12:35 fastest first sector. That's why these sectors are very small in terms of the pace that we see in the A1GP cars. And you can see B-Dragon Sonic making the lunge through 4 and taking the lead on lap 2. But Volstad going side by side as well, making that look to the outside, not able to make the pass. I think Revo or Prof was trying to make a move as well. Babinus Jr. getting a time penalty for causing a collision. So we look through the field, heading through the chicane. This is always that pinch point in the early days of Formula E, heading to the Hockenheim ring. Oh! Yellow flags are out. Hart and Perez in the wall. Bad day to be a Guillermo Perez fan. As we begin lap 3, B-Dragon Sonic with a 1 minute dead, .333. And he's still got Volstad right behind him. He'd love to get rid of him, but Volstad reminds him why he's still here. Both of these drivers effectively bowing out of the ERL after this series is done. And Revo now latching onto the back. These 3 quite possibly the greatest of all time in ERL history. It says a launch for Revo. Almost tags the Team Nigeria car, but does manage to take second. And that effectively halts Volstad's chance for now, because now he just has to fly around the outside of Revo. And he's done it. I was going to mention possibly Revo trying to defend, but he just didn't have the pace in that Team Italy car. And now Volstad swings and misses. The Red Devil getting a 5-second time penalty, and cautions are out, and he's in the wall. Bad day for the Team Netherlands car. A lot of drivers getting a bit of damage down there, but no full course yellows yet. Thankfully, we've only actually had 2 races out of the 4 run with a full course yellow. 3 drivers coming into the pits there, as here comes Volstad once more at a quarter of the way through the race, going through turns 2 and 3 and into the lead once more. He doesn't have attack mode heading down into turn 4 though, and that's going to allow B-Dragon Sonic with the opportunity. The tyres are absolutely going off for both of them, as there goes the Nigerian driver back up into the lead, coming through 4. These guys are having an absolute fist fight going through the first sector. Olsen with the fastest second sector, or third sector rather, and still 2x2 they go. A lot of weaving for B-Dragon Sonic, has to keep it out of the wall. That was almost contact. The ERL steward's gonna have to look at that surely, but they're still side by side going through the final sector. One of these 2 has to come into the pits. I don't see why neither of them wouldn't. Babinus with a track limits warning, and yes, the race leaders both pull into the pits at the end of lap 4, also in Palomino and Puff, so Puff's going to have to serve that time penalty. I think Sparks might have also come into the pits, so your race leader after this will be very interesting to see. Volstad and Team Norway have their pit box quite a ways down the line and just about cuts in front of the Nigerian driver. Sebastian Ocampo now leads, and that was a very unsafe rejoin there. Lam Fong almost running into the side of Team Norway's Oscar Volstad, who currently has the net race lead, I believe. Yes, Lam Fong is yet to pit, but he's done 5 laps on his set of soft tyres and is going to have absolutely 0 pace. As it stands, Guillermo Perez still struggling after quite a harrowing opening set of laps, as here comes Puff, ready to make the fight back through the order, up into 14th for the Scotsman. And Ocampo heads the pack, 11 seconds up on Oscar Volstad, as there is Guillermo Perez. Does he have a puncture, or is he just going slowly because of the blue flag? Sparks has caused the yellow, and yes, Perez does have a puncture. Sparks was in the wall. No front wing damage for the man who used to lead the championship, but my oh my, does it just seem like he's lost all confidence in that car. In comes Guillermo. It's been an absolute horror show for the IndyCar, the Champ Car Rookie of the Year in Season 5. In comes Oinkro Ezra, as B-Dragon Sonic still looking for a way to get past Oscar. This is now for the lead of the race. With attack mode and attack charge in hand, B-Dragon Sonic reclaims the race lead here in Baden-Württemberg. And Bogdasarov doing the exact same move as well to get up into third. Team France, I feel like I must mention this, they are still yet to have a completely incident-free weekend. If they're able to get a podium today, that would be absolutely perfect for the team that hosts two drivers who, fun fact, have the exact same win tally across the ERL Formula E series. But Folstad still not close enough to make any sort of move. Palomino getting alongside and personal with Bogdasarov, who dives down into pit lane. Lap 7 of 16 here in Germany. On board we are with many of the drivers through the field. I'm just going to touch on Sparks right now. It hasn't been the greatest set of races, has it? Tokyo wasn't the greatest race of all time as Folstad makes the lunge up into the lead once more. But, you know, returning to the Sparks comment as B-Dragon Sonic going alongside with Folstad and keeping him very much on his toes. You know, Sparks didn't have the best run of things in Japan, and then in Yas Island, wrecked on lap 1. It could just be a confidence thing. It could have just been the home race advantage helping him quite a bit mentally, and then really just not gelling with the car everywhere else. Hopefully we get to see the Sparks that won the World 500 and the British Grand Prix return. But at half race distance, there goes Bogdasarov getting past Kui. Cable and Revo both coming to the pits, and Revo not really looking as if he's going to return to the podium this time out. B-Dragon Sonic, though, returns to the race lead. These two have absolutely just been brawling it all race long. He's going to go alongside with Folstad coming through 4. We've got some dark clouds here in Baden-Württemberg, but even so, these guys just keep on fighting. B-Dragon Sonic returns to the lead, and those medium tyres for the Team Nigeria man really helping him, but still grip is low when you run them for so many laps. And Lamphy dueling away with Remy Lebeau. And, you know, Remy Lebeau not having the best few races in the A1GP series himself, but he's still giving it everything that he's got. Defending from Hun Lamphy. They were side by side at some moment there, and they still are. These grey clouds not looking as if they're going to clear anytime soon, but we don't expect to see any rain. A lot of drivers coming in, including the race leaders. I think Folstad once again is going to cut off B-Dragon Sonic in the pits, but this time, not as close as it was before. Not as close as it was before. And that's good news in terms of the probability of getting a time penalty for an unsafe release. Bogdasarov there, letting B-Dragon Sonic by. He knows that he is not his race. Or at least not entirely. There is a 2-lap offset between those mediums and those hards. So come race's end, they will have likely have made the same amount of stops, but Team France probably just using this race as another learning exercise. Hun Lamphy in second position, running a pretty good race of his own, even if it is on tyre strategy. Now Sanchez gets a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. So that's not great. B-Dragon Sonic runs in fourth. He's a second or so down on Oscar Folstad, who will become race leader, as Perez, Hun Lamphy, and Sebastian Ocampo all coming into the pits. Perez is going to be classified a lap down at this point. And with 6 to go, Palomino on the back of this fight for 4th position. Cable makes the lunge going through 2 and will take 4th. But he's going to get done going into the hairpin, isn't he? Remy Lebeau getting a time penalty for causing a collision. And another one. He's gotten 2 in quick succession. That's unfortunate. That's just the nature of having this close-cut racing with automatic penalties. You are just going to have to suck it up sometimes. And Remy going through 4, cutting across the curb and not getting penalized for it. Thankfully, he's up into the top 10 again. The Nigerian driver's going to have to chase Falstad, isn't he? I think that's what B-Dragon Sonic is going to have to do to try and take the win today. Because that gap of 2 seconds is either going to stay the same or just get larger unless he starts pushing. It's lap 11 now. And Daf Sanchez has just been given a time penalty as well. You've just seen it on your screen. And as we ride on board with them, this is now the fight for 7th position, I believe. If not at 6th, then I'm not going to make that joke. It's December. Hard braking going through 2, and here comes Palomino for the last position on the podium. Makes the lunge going through 4, and I think he's gone to position, but B-Dragon Sonic's now closing in on Oscar Falstad, and yes, Palomino did get 3rd, even if our camera operators at Fox Sports decided to cut away. Very nice, guys. 3 seconds is now the margin out in front, and I don't think that B-Dragon Sonic is going to be able to catch up if it stays as is. You are Puff versus Spox YT15 with Daf Sanchez acting as the buffer zone between them and the rest of the pack. Lap 12 of 16. 4 laps to go. 75% of this race has been completed. Revo comes into the pits, and I can explain what I was trying to say earlier. 3/4 of the race done. 75%. So I was thinking 35, but it doesn't matter. Soft tires going on down at Team Italy. Very interesting option to the end of this race. Can those softs do 4 laps? Historically, yes. We saw that with Hunman Phi, but that wasn't very quick laps by the end of the stints. It's an option that the teams have now to try and get to the end of the race on softs, but it's not a smart option in my opinion. I think the mediums might be the best tires to the end of this race, as Babinis Jr. puts in a faster second time of his own. Daf Sanchez up into 6th position, and B-Dragon Sonic is now within striking distance of Oscar Falstad, but I believe the race leaders both coming into the pits. No, it's just Team Nigeria's B-Dragon Sonic. They're going for the undercut down at Team Nigeria. Falstad stays out. Nicholas Palomino also comes in, and that's hindered the Nigerian stop. Mediums go on for B-Dragon Sonic, as he now has to try and beat Oscar Falstad on strategy. He couldn't beat him on track. And he got to try brains over brawns now. And Lamphy in 4th on the back of you a Puff. UK Ball quite a ways behind the top 5. About a second behind B-Dragon Sonic, as Ocampo is now in front of Lamphy by 5 seconds, might I add. For Sebastian, he is just waiting for that first win of the season. 3rd most winningest driver, rather. Struggling to say some words, of course. As Lamphy still runs up in 3rd, and for Ocampo to be 3rd winningest in the ERL is quite something, because the other names around him on that list, 1st, 2nd, and 4th, have been there since Season 1. And Falstad comes in. Falstad is into the pits. Ocampo, who started his career back in Season 13, also into the pits. Lamphy comes in. Falstad's pit stop is done. Will B-Dragon Sonic be in front on lap 14? He is, and it's by a second. 2 seconds, in fact, and it's probably going to grow as Falstad gets back up to speed. It's 3 seconds that Oscar Falstad must now catch back up to race leader B-Dragon Sonic. So far, we've had a unique race winner in every ERL A1GP race so far. It's only been 3, but B-Dragon Sonic can try and become the first repeat winner, as here comes UK Ball with a lunge up into 4th position, getting past the Frenchman of Damel Bogdasarov. And he's now on the back of Revo. Does he smell a podium? Well, he's going to have to deal with Bogdasarov first as they make contact. Falstad with a faster second sector. He is flying as he tries to catch back up to leader, as Ocampo getting a time penalty and yellow flags are out. Contact with Olsen, who hits the wall. Ocampo with front wing damage, Olsen with front wing damage. But as they come across the line to start the penultimate lap, Oscar Falstad is now right on the back of B Dragon Sonic. We're on board with the man who's going for his first race win in A1GP, his first race win since I believe season 23. He's going to go alongside. The rear wing is wide open and he sees victory lane just a lap and a bit in front of him. Oscar Volstad now leads in Germany, and with the tyre advantage he's got, I don't think that the Nigerian can catch him. UK Ball, I think the chase for the podium is done and dusted. Baltasarov, he's going to have to defend from Team Spain's Palomino. Going side by side, fighting over 5th position. And Palomino's taken that and the 10 points that it comes with so far. Oikampo's doing what he can with that front wing damage, but the 5-second time penalty that it carries as well means that he is not going to score any points for the man who started this race on pole. We're on to the final lap as into the wall goes Daf Sanchez. He's been handed with a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision as well. That's a very interesting penalty to be awarded. Look at the margin out in front though. 2.6 seconds. Volstad and Team Norway have played the overcut card perfectly. They now see themselves just a sector and a half away from glory. Team Norway, who failed to score any points in Japan, now see themselves about to take victories. Volstad's teammates still struggling with front wing damage and low tyres. Hunlam Thi gets a 5-second time penalty, and I think, yes, Jensen Olsen has a puncture. So it's a mixture of feelings down at Team Norway as Oscar Volstad comes to the line and will win in the 4th race in the A1GP World Cup of Motorsport, and almost into the wall there for the Red Devil. Full car puncture for Jensen Olsen. Might have already mentioned that he's down in 21st and will likely be the last of the drivers on the lead lap. Perez already a lap down. And look at that further up. I think that was the Red Devil and Newer Puff fighting over what will be the last points paying position. This is going to come down to the line. And it will be Newer Puff who misses out on 1 point. Well, in terms of interesting races in the A1GP, that has been the most strategic of them all. Brilliant stuff from Oscar Volstad today to take victory, with the undercut failing for B Dragon Sonic. Olsen still struggling with that full car puncture. Just wow for that team. Here is your podium, of course. Volstad taking victory from B Dragon Sonic and Revo. We will listen to the Norwegian national anthem for the winning driver. Well, that was certainly the most strategic race so far. Here come the race results after the German Grand Prix. Oscar Volstad taking victory in the fastest lap from B Dragon Sonic and Revo Bennett's Palomino, UK Ball, Bob Tasarov, Babner Senior, Sparks YT15, Hunlam Thi, the Red Devil, and Newer Puff the top 11 in the point standings. Oscar Volstad now finds himself in contention for the championship. He's 33 points back on points leader B Dragon Sonic. And in the team standings, Team Nigeria still leads the way from Team Italy. Team England now find themselves back up in third with Norway behind them. In terms of racing's Cold Wars, it's only natural that we see one coming out of a nation that was reunified after the Cold War, Falstad taking victory and a jab at potential title contention. But after all of that, we will see you guys next time then, when the ERL A1GP series returns in Malaysia.
Turning up the volume so I laughing on it.